UCU Focus TV. You are watching UCU Focus TV. You are watching UCU Focus TV.
It is that time of week, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to a very spectacular Wednesday. And here to tell you that there are a lot of sports shows around the country, but there is only one, and I mean only one, that is focused on university sports, and that is the Sports Focus. My name is Ian Asabu, and I welcome you to this weekly episode of the Sports Focus. Well, before we get into the gist of the issues that we have at hand, I just want to peruse you through a little bit of the sporting updates that might have happened throughout this past week. In terms of the UCU Lady Doves, well, as of 15th February, my apologies, they are first on the Serie B table, having played 18 games and won 17 of them. That means they are on pace to be able to qualify for the Serie A. Heading to volleyball men, last weekend they were able to win against KFVC, and that puts them fourth in the table. That is in the playoff contention spot. That is where they want to be, and hopefully as the season progresses and it goes to its climax, they're able to head up and finally secure those playoff places in order to get a chance at winning the national championship. Heading to netball, netball is in a little bit of a break. As you know, there have been issues with the federation and all that involved. That is the Angels, as we love to call them here at UCU. They find themselves third on the table after the first round, with the second round due to start in a few weeks' time. Then we would love to also talk about other universities, get them involved as well, as this is a university show and the only university sports show in the country. Would love to get others involved. I'd love to give a shout out to Impis, who are currently undefeated in the National Rugby League. Obviously, Impis is affiliated with Makerere Games Union and Makerere University. So shout out to them. They have a tough encounter against the Heathens this weekend at Chadondo. Rugby fans, you could go watch that. That's going to be a very spicy encounter indeed. Well, we have as well Ndeje University football team play their trade in the FUFA Big League, hoping to get into the top flight. Unfortunately, they find themselves in 12th spot on the table, having things not having gone to plan this as so far this season. We head to women's football as we have the FUFA Uganda Cup this weekend. Women's Uganda Cup we head back to the table and find that the UCU Lady Cardinals haven't started strongly to the second round, having lost their first game against Kawempe Muslim and a 1-1 draw last weekend against Rhines FC. Heading to Makerere yet again, She Corporate lost that much anticipated Kampala derby last week against Kampala Queens with Hasfa Nasruna getting a goal. She was able to haunt our arch enemy, that is She Corporate, and leave them fifth on the table. Not quite good for the defending champions, who may seem to be in a transitional period. Excuse me. We go to, that is Makerere University women's team. They find themselves second from bottom on the table and fighting for their lives as the second round of the season begins. Well, this weekend seems to be more of a distraction from the league affairs. And as I told you, the FIFA Women's Uganda Cup round of 32 comes into play. UCU are on the road as they go to face Gold Star, hoping to be able to get... This is a chance for a piece of silverware after it seems that Kampala Queen, having won 11 out of 11 games this season, are running away with the title. So hopefully this is a chance for other teams to be able to catch up to them and get a chance of winning silverware as the season comes to a conclusion. And just from yesterday, you all know that the Zone 5 qualifiers are in place, are happening at Lugogo. Uganda is hosting Egypt, Rwanda, South Sudan, Uganda, the hosts, and Kenya. And Uganda actually lost its first game, unfortunately, yesterday, 61-53, in what was the new coach, the Spanish coach's first game in charge. Our own very own head coach for the UCU Cannons and Lady Cannons, Nick Natuhereza, is the assistant. And we also had a few familiar faces from the Lady Cannons playing. There was Bridget Abe, Shakira Nambubia, to many people's surprise, didn't actually get a look into the game, yet She is the point guard that led the team to the national titles. Question marks raised there as Uganda face their actually have their second game this evening at 7:30. You can watch that on NBS Sport as they try and get back to winning ways and hopefully get that one spot that is needed. 5 teams are competing for one spot that is needed to be able to progress to the national to the continental games that will take place in July in Rwanda. So just to introduce my colleagues, I have Bobo Andrew on my left and I have Emma Ilungule on my right. Gentlemen, welcome to the Sports Focus this week. How are you all doing?
Well, thank you for inviting me
to
the show. I'm very excited to be here. And I hope we can enjoy the show.
Before we get into the gist of the matter, what was your moment of the week?
Well, my moment of the week, I would say the trip for Vipers when they travel to Morocco.
That's humbling.
Humbling. Well, of course, we wanted more because it's a Ugandan team. We expected more. But of course, that just shows that we are not yet there.
Yeah.
We might be a good Ugandan team, but on the continent, it's still going to be hard. So I think it's a lesson learned for the other teams. Yeah.
And we'll get to that probably in depth. Emma, welcome to the show. It's been quite a minute since you've been here. You've been doing all the work behind the scenes. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our producer and finally the sports enthusiast in studio. Emma, welcome to the show. What was your sporting moment of the week that was?
Thank you, Ian. Thank you very much. I'm really happy to be back in front of the cameras to talk about sports, something that I love so much. My sporting highlight of the weekend was Man City getting back to winning ways, should I say, after the disappointing loss against Tottenham.
Yeah.
And I know now we are going to push for the title.
Big game tonight, though.
Yeah, very big game.
We shall get into that. So, just before we head into more international sports, and I would love to talk about what is on ground right now and what is circulating among SUCU students, because it is finally, and I would say finally, the return of the interfaculty games that last happened in 2019. I played in those games. It wasn't a pleasing memory that I have, but now that the games are back, gentlemen, and I don't think you have both experienced quite what the events of the game. What does it mean for the rumors are circulating that the games are going to be back? We had the sports minister in studio a few weeks back talking about the games, and hopefully later on this week we could have him on another episode of Focus Extra with the guild president talk about these interfaculty games. Bobo, what are your expectations from these games, and what do you see how them panning out?
Well, for the return of the interfaculty games, I believe it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because I believe with every institution that exists, sports is one fundamental thing that brings people together.
Yeah.
And it brings a lot of closure within people. They come to support the faculties they are studying in. So I believe it's going to be a good initiative because it has been out since we went away for the COVID situations when COVID hit. So it's going to be great, and it's going to be fun seeing guys playing again, because most people last played maybe in a kind of sport they were playing in high school all the way back. So the campus games will also keep people going. Maybe it's a turning point for someone to go professional.
True.
Yeah.
True. Emma, would you like to add on what he has said? Because I think that he has actually hit the nail on the importance of these games in this institution that have taken quite a while without happening.
Yeah, I think the interfaculties are really, really important in the university setting, because through these games we're able to find new talents, first of all.
Yeah.
We are able to have people have a sense of belonging. There's a special way in which sport brings people together.
Yeah.
So I think if we have students participating for their faculties, fighting for their faculties, fighting for those trophies, there will be that sense of unity that we shall see coming out.
Yeah.
So I think it's a really good initiative, and I hope it's going to be done the right way.
Yeah. Or just to highlight this point, as UCU, as Sports Focus, as a team, as the show, and as the host, I would just love to outline it there that we are actually in the game of trying to change the culture of university sports. So for the very first time ever, we are going to have in-depth analysis, and I mean everything in terms of the UCU interfaculty games. I mean coaches' interviews, pre-match and after match. We're going to have interviews with players, pre-match, post-match. We're going to cover everything from the top to bottom just to have you, the viewer, in the know and having real-time updates of what is going on in terms of the interfaculty games, because this is a very good opportunity for someone to get spotted out there. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, before the official confirmation, I'd just love to let you know that we are going to be on the case in terms of the interfaculty competitions. So as we head into the commercial break, please keep it locked in with Sports Focus, and see you soon.
So you are now aiming to become a lawyer? Professor, you get them
Make sure you read. Umuzanyo kuveeko.
Ye tata.
You made him nothing but a nightmare to the family. I'm good for nothing. Just like you.
Margaret, have you no manners? Have you no respect for men? Watch your tongue, young boy. I will discipline you.
Sure. If her family cannot solve it, who do you think they are?
Yeah. Matia. Matia wakasajja kano kanywedde se.
Hello everyone. On the 12th of March, I'm inviting you
To the launch of the book, The Magic of Successful Living.
It was authored by one of the greatest and youngest authors in the country.
We've listened to several motivation speakers such as Jay Shetty, Denzel Washington.
How about from our very own?
This book is going to be launched
On the 12th of March,
At Selina Hotel.
In the year of our Lord 2023, to get what you need, please come and be with us as we launch the masterpiece, The Magic of a Successful Living.
You are watching UCU Focus TV.
Welcome back from that quick commercial break, and thank you for keeping it locked in at Sports Focus on UCU Focus TV. Well, just before the break, I'd pre-advertised that we are going to talk about Vipers, that is Sports Club Vipers, aside from Chitende. They actually played their first ever CAF Champions League match in Morocco, and it was surely a baptism of fire against one of the best sides in Africa, that is Raja Casablanca. In a layman's terms, they were taken from Casablanca back to Mukono and then Chitende because they conceded 5 goals in their opening game of the CAF Champions League against 3-time champions. And surely, gentlemen, that was not a result that they really wanted to have on their record as their first ever CAF Champions game. What was your assessment of the game? Emma, I'll start with you.
I think I was really disappointed in that performance. It was abysmal.
Yeah.
It was as if these guys it's like getting a Sunday League team and taking it to the Premier League. That's how horrible I thought it was. But maybe in the defense of Vipers, they just had a period of recent, and that sometimes affects because Bianchi is not the same as Robertinho. Their tactics a bit different. So adjusting to that whole change can also affect. But still, 5-0 is a very, very big loss. And I think the Ugandan football, anyone involved in Ugandan football should take a wider scope and try to look at this in a wider range and try to think, why is it that this team destroyed us this heavily? I'm not a Vipers fan, but obviously on continental stage we have to support our own country. So I just really hope that this was an eye-opener to the whole federation to show us where exactly our football stands as of now.
So, Andrew, what had you most at Shoprite? Was it the performance from the side, or was it the result? What had you most at Crossroads for that result?
I believe what really took me up, like surprised me the most, was the result.
Yeah.
Of course, yes, Raja Casablanca, of course, is African football gods. But even though it was still, I expected a loss, yes, but this again went too far, because 5-0 was a hard one to take in. I'm sure the trip back was a long one for the boys. They could not believe what had happened on their first outing. Yeah.
But I mean, that was abysmal showing from their goalkeeper in the first 15 minutes. 2 schoolboy errors that led to 2 goals, and then you're down 3-0 at the half. Surely there was not anything much Robertinho would say to the squad at halftime. Like, I mean, you're 3-0 down, and luckily, actually, for Vipers, in my opinion, luckily, they did not have the fans in the stadium and the Raja Casablanca fans, because they are one of the most passionate fan bases in world football. And I mean, 3-0 down at halftime, what do you tell the players? And is it more of something that is going to affect the squad down the road, because they face Horoya next at home, aside from Guinea-Conakry? They face them next. Is this result going to affect them in the performance later on?
Well, I believe so. I believe this is one thing that is going to affect the team.
Yeah.
Of course, we could say the team can move away from this, rebuild. We're having a home game, so that means home support. And Ugandans, we like to support as a whole, because there are some international games I watched of Vipers where you can see KCC fans coming in, URA Express, you can see them in the crowd, even though they are just. So I believe, the support might be there, but of course this affects, because first time in the tournament, we expect the hardships. League winners in Guinea, league winners in Morocco, league winners in Tanzania, so it's going to be a very hard way to manage the tournament. Yeah. So I believe it's going to affect them, but if the consistency continues, year in, year out, qualifying, I believe they will manage the tournament. Yeah.
So, Emma, just to take you back on in terms of Vipers and their importance of winning home games, how do you think it is going to be important for them to get possibly 9 out of 9 in the during their home games in order to stand a chance of qualifying for the next round?
Well, I don't think they're going to stand a chance in this Champions League, personally.
Yeah.
I think that result absolutely crushed them. I think they feel defeated. They feel. I don't think they're going to come back from this, unless, I don't know what you guys think, but I think the best thing they can do from this first experience they're having is to learn from it, to see how these other teams go about it, because we know something about tournament football is that as you keep playing, you keep on, there's that growth you go through.
Yeah.
So I think right now, let us accept that in the growing stages, they're not going to really come back with anything, unless I'm wrong, but I doubt. And maybe in the future, the next 5 years, let them just keep finding ways of qualifying. In the next 5 years, they'll be somewhere better than where they are right now.
All right. That is quite insane, brilliant assessment from you, gentlemen, and thank you for that. Just to put it out there, this is just coming. Well, you know how invested we are in terms of university sports, and 2023 actually seems to be the year of women in sport. I mean, this is the year when you have the FIFA Women's World Cup, you have the FIFA T20 World Cup currently going on in South Africa, Women's T20 World Cup. You have, and now that this is the time, you actually have the Netball World Cup. I didn't remind you about, because Uganda gets to play the Netball World Cup later on this year. So this is actually 2023 seems like it is the year for women in sport. And that hasn't changed, as FISU, that is the governing body for university sports in East Africa, was able to release a schedule. Actually, it is going to happen during the Easter weekend, that is from April 7th to 10 April of this year. We're going to have the women's university games that are going to take place at United States International University, that is in Nairobi, Kenya. So that is going to be something that would love to be able to go to, a tournament that would love to be able to go to and cover these university games. We shall bring you real-time updates. We shall bring you analysis, interviews from all the participants that are going to participate in those games right here on UCU Sports Focus and Focus TV. So, gentlemen, what is your opinion on these games taking place? Because we had the university games last year that I think was a general view, and then you have the women's games this year.
Actually, I think it's a really good initiative.
Yeah.
These games help us. I think they help the players grow, because when you go for such a tournament, these are the best universities coming together in one place. So I think these players interacting and integrating with each other, it also gives them that sort of self-improvement in their game. And I think also the university games that have followed over the years have been at least professionally done. So it also gives these players that sort of professional environment, preparing them maybe for club activities. Yeah.
So some of the teams we expect that are going to actually participate in these games, if we're actually to go, the UCU Lady Cardinals, who were able to sweep by everybody in the varsity games that happened in Indeje. They won gold. Hopefully they are favorites to win gold again. You have the Lady Cannons, who actually lost in the final to Victoria University, have a chance at redemption of being able to win a gold medal this time. You have the volleyball women's team. We had the captain last week. She talked about wanting to have the team more engaged in these tournaments, maybe a chance for them to go to as well, the netball team as well. So there are plenty of opportunities for these ladies to be able to go to Nairobi and represent the university amicably. And hopefully, as time progresses, we shall be able to update you on everything that is necessary, important for this tournament, and hopefully shed it out there that the women, actually 2023 is the year of women in sport. So gentlemen, it's a big one tonight. I mean, the top two, there is so much connecting Arsenal and Manchester City that is. There's Arteta, Guardiola, there's Zinchenko, Jesus. There are a lot of connections between Arsenal and Manchester City. You can go all the way. There is from Sami Nasri. There was a quote from a commentator. Sami Nasri polished by Arsenal, purchased by City. There's a lot of history between Arsenal and Manchester City, and they find themselves position 1 and 2 this time, 3 points separating each other, and actually the first round of a potential title decider. How excited are you for this game, Andrew?
I'm very excited, of course, but of course, people are taking it as if they already know the winner of the game.
Yeah.
But for my
they know.
Who is the winner of the game?
Well, of course, everyone is saying the citizens. No. The blue citizens might just take the game, And of course, when they win the game, we are looking at them as champions. But I believe Arsenal still has one last fight in them. One last push. They can push for this game because they know they are this close. They're this close. Sometimes the opportunity hits once, and then 2024, 2025, there is nothing close to Arsenal on the top list. So I believe this one opportunity for them is going to push them hard enough. They are not competing in any other trophy right now. It's Man City who still has the Champions Leagues, the FA.
But I mean, they do have the Europa League to contend with, in terms of you're going to have Arsenal playing on Sundays when the Europa League does kick in, that is this week, and then you're going to have City playing in the Champions League on Saturdays. So will that play in a factor as we go in the run-in for the Premier League title?
Well, of course, that is going to play a very big factor, of course. But I believe the effect is going to affect City more, because one trophy City is hungry for is the Champions League.
Yeah.
Yes, the Premier League is a factor to bring closure at the end of the season. That is their consolate trophy in case everything fails. So that might be their trophy. But of course, it's going to affect both parties.
Yeah.
But the mid-season games, the midweek games, and then weekends going to affect.
Guardiola has always made it clear that the main trophy for him, how much the media says it's a Champions League and what, but the main trophy that City always fights for every season is the Premier League. And I think he always prioritizes the Premier League in every situation, because even if you look at the last match we played, he brought Haaland off at half-time because he knew there was a game on Wednesday against Arsenal. So his focus, his mind is always thinking about the Premier League. And I think it's wrong for us to judge Man City basing on the Champions League. I think what they've done with the Premier League has been so I don't want to sound like a fan, but she has been so tremendous over the past couple of years.
Yes, so as I said, there's a lot of history in this fixture tonight. Arsenal last won their Premier League, that was the invincible season in 2004, 19 years back, if I'm not mistaken. Manchester City are on course, are chasing Arsenal, are on course for a three-peat. The first time that it has been done in 2009. So I just want to get what the bigger story is here. Is it Manchester City's impending three-peat or Arsenal's first title win in 19 years? What's the bigger story here, gentlemen? I want to just lead it to you to dissect what the bigger story would be here.
Okay, I am a Man City fan, but I think the bigger story obviously would be Arsenal winning the trophy after 19 years. That just has to be the big story.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't be the first time that a team has won the trophy 3 times in a row. Like we saw it with Ferguson, he did it twice. But I think Arsenal winning the title would really be something so special for the North London club. Yeah, so the bigger story is definitely Arsenal winning the Premier League.
Now, what's your take on that?
Well, I would go with this point.
So no one is against each other now. You're all friends when it comes to this.
No, of course, yeah, I would go with this point. Arsenal winning it after the 19 years is a big deal.
Yeah.
But of course, if they do that replay where Aguero scored at the last minute and maybe some sort of a last day goal and maybe Haaland hits it or something, of course the table is turned. And of course, City might take the bigger story, like as you had stated.
All right, thank you. But not forgetting that actually Manchester United and Newcastle are hot on the tails between these two teams. So that is a game that United are going to be closely looking at as they also look and close the gap. Guardiola mentioned they are in the title race, and quite frankly, so they are in the title race with the kind of form that they have been on in the last couple of months. Don't forget Newcastle as well. Those two meet at the end of the month in the Carabao Cup final. So it seems like it is going to be a 4-team title race. As we come to the conclusion of the show, of the Sports Focus this week, it's just a reminder that actually next week, it is the curtain raiser for that is the National Basketball League season, where we have the UCU Open, an annual event where UCU gets to invite various teams from around the country, that is professional basketball teams, to participate in a 2-day tournament. This tournament will happen on February 25th to 26th, and the whole of next week, we shall bring you interviews from different players, from different teams, as well as everything you'll need to know as we lead up to the UCU Open tournament, and hopefully UCU will get to defend the titles that they did win last year. You can always follow us on our YouTube platform, subscribe as we try and hit that magic 1K. Follow us on our Twitter platforms at UCU Focus TV, Sports Focus 01. You can always hit us, give us a like here and there, shout us out here and there as we try and change the culture of university sports. I am Ian Asabo. Thank you for watching. Till next time, goodbye.